Welcome back, everyone. We just had a banger of a match, actually. I was pleasantly surprised at how close that one got. Was hoping for a little bit of overtime, but not quite to it. Hamburgers did take the 13-11 over Team Tactical Throwers, who it's much nicer for me to be like they didn't throw if they had won, but then I'm like, do I say that they threw? No, it was never really a throw. These teams are just really well matched together. Gompers, any last thoughts on the very good match starting us off here today?
Any last thoughts for the last map or this
For
match?
last match.
For the last match, dang, that's a good question. I think overall, if they got a rematch on a different map, then it would have been Tacthar's map. But I do
Mm.
think, I don't know, Hamboigas, they just looked really comfortable on the map of Haven.
It was so back and forth, Becky,
Yeah.
that I think that we want a best of three, want a best of five. From watching that first game, what are your expectations for both teams going into the rest of the weekend?
I think that hamburgers are going to continue to surprise us. Again, tactical throwers are definitely a team that Gompers and I have seen around and have been heavy hitters. So the fact that they got a map taken off of them by hamburgers, I think speaks a lot to how prepared hamburgers are, despite being again, not unknown, but newer little squad to be putting together on the GCA.
Right, newer formed. So
Mhm.
still a little bit of a test, right? Even though they've all been very much individually tested. But yeah, we'll see how they, I guess, turn out in their groups as we continue on today, moving into a different section of the group stage. We're going to be going into 26 Rising versus Wannabees. Again, reminder, this is a best of one here today, this one and the next match as well. So I do think we're coming in here a little bit more blind, a lot more of the newer names for these two teams, Scompers. So is there anything that you can, I guess, give us as far as insight into what could we expect for the upcoming match?
Upcoming match, I would say, honestly, I looked at the statistics a little bit. I know, sorry. Um, I'm not sure what map we're actually playing on. If we have the map picks and bans, 100%. I actually do believe we do. So it seems like we are on Breeze, actually. So for map picks, the map of Breeze, yeah, no,
Yeah.
honestly, no idea what's gonna happen. I gotta be honest with you. Obviously Breeze was picked for a reason, but more so, why was Breeze picked? So
Well,
This
we
is
might
actually kind of weird too, because sorry,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna throw out a little thought here. The two most long range maps that you have available, I guess like Pearl has like one really long angle, but Haven has like the two iconic long angles of A and C, and then the other iconic long range map is of course Breeze. So the fact that Haven and Breeze got left to be the two choices here is actually quite interesting to me.
Oh, that's I think a very good point. I know it's kind of a, it's a hot seat, right now as we're coming into two fairly new groups that we don't have too much, I guess, statistics on, right? But that's kind of the beautiful thing about a tournament like this is that we kind of, we do the whole like, well, maybe this, maybe that. We could see some of this, we could see some of that, and then we get into game and we actually get to see the players, the team in action and everything that they give us so that by the time they may move into tomorrow or even Sunday, we have a lot to talk about, become very familiar with them, get really psyched to see them. So that's what I am looking forward to is can we actually get into the game and see how these two teams compete. Again, 26 Rising versus Wannabees, I think just about ready to go. So I guess we can expand a little bit more on that map pick. Becky did a great job explaining how those last two might point to something. But with Breeze, do you have any more, I guess, input there? Unless we already go to agents. And then please, by all means, just go to agents. We can move on in there and send the casters to actually cast the game. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get, I
Yeah.
guess, final thoughts there, Becky, if you have any.
I mean, I think this is going to be interesting for Wannabes. They are pretty much a full pug team. Two players completely unknown, and I believe that only of those two like pretty unknown players, they've only played between the two of them have only played in one GCA ever. So that'll be kind of interesting. But Kitsy was a Sova main for Celestial, which is a known team previously. So that could lead into kind of the direction that they're trying to go. They actually have two Sova mains on their team, or were Sova mains for previous squads in Wannabes. So that could be kind of telling about the direction that they're trying to go and why they like those longer angled maps.
Well, now we no longer have to wait. We are ready to go into Agent Selects. Let's actually get in there and see these two teams duke it out in this best of one. Casters, take it away.
Ooh, I mean, I'm so excited to see how this is going to end up going, especially because like the thing that is weird about Breeze is that it's so often just going to be this exact 5v5 unless Angel does go ahead and lock in that Neon, which would be pretty cool, but I am expecting that to be swapped to a Jet just because I haven't seen a team be successful with something other than this exact 5 team composition in quite some time.
Oh, with a Neon. Yeah. Like this is interesting. 26 Rising. We actually talked about how they're a signed team now, which is interesting.
As of yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I think I've only seen a couple of these players really play in. Maybe somebody changed their name. I've never seen Dinosaur before, so
Yeah, there's thoughts that it might be Kai.
Oh.
Used to be an IGL for a team,
Yeah.
but now is Dinosaur. I do like that name a lot.
I like
as,
it too.
As an elder
it
emo.
matches the KO feel. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's like, have you ever heard the saying like your name matches your, you know, who you play? You know?
Oh, I haven't heard that, but I also
No?
change my name so often that maybe nobody's ever told me that.
Oh.
But the Neon is actually going to be the lock-in. Oh, I'm excited for that. And I mean, it makes sense because like all of my notes that I have on these teams, I will not take credit for them. Ash gave them to me, and Ash specifically mentioned that Angel pretty much only plays Raze and Neon. So it does make sense if you're not going to go for something like the Jet. Neon is a pretty close second there. And if it ends up just being the thing that you're more comfortable on, I like going for those comfort picks, especially in these group stages.
Yeah, I think the Neon is great. I actually met somebody who's an Instaluck Neon the other day. And you know what? If it matches, it matches. It's like putting a ring on your finger. And if it works, it works. So we'll see how Angel goes with this. I honestly think the Neon is a great pick for a map this big. Just typically because, yeah, there's a lot of maps that are just as big as this one, Gompers. What are you saying? But more so, this has so many openings. So, I mean, really just trying to take the initiative that way and just rush in. I feel like Angel's going to really succeed here.
And speaking of rushing in, is going to be quickly met by multiple players. The Bibbidi very close behind and helping out and able to pick up those first 2 kills very swiftly and move back immediately to join with the rest of the team. So nice, a double pick and move back as Kaz finds a kill as well to Rendezvous. Just safety for this whole squad, and watching them take these long range headshots is making me just understand why Breeze was the pick. You see a chamber so comfortably move through that rendezvous, go peek that angle, immediately find another headshot, and you're just like, this makes sense.
Oh yeah, that was a wonderful start off to a pistol round too. Nobody's down yet. Getting headshot already. 13 health. Everybody coming around. It was like a sandwich at that point. Flawless. Really nice. 26 Rising already giving a pretty good debut for that first stand round. Kaz is sad. Looking pretty happy with that Marshall. So I do feel like with Kaz buying this Marshall and kind of keeping as much, I would say, eco-wise as they can, maybe Kaz is going to be a pretty big offer coming into this Breeze.
Yeah, and Kaz was actually previously on Fallacy and previously a duelist for them. So switching off to this chamber, depending on how you view chamber, could be surprising or could be like a no duh. Like Wannabees is going to go ahead and try this B site again, change up that Viper wall just a little bit, but Kaz still going to be the one to get the better of those Wannabees players, find that first blood, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee, but so far these bees are not stinging too much as a collat kill with the Marshall. Okay.
They just come up from behind. Nobody knows. Silence. All around for 26 Rising. But luckily enough, I mean, Wannabees, they took out a lot of players here. Even though if it was like 2, I mean, still more than nothing at that point. Yeah.
And, I mean, there's something to be said. 26 Rising played as a FA team kind of recently and beat Sanrios, which is a team that we're kind of familiar with in another tournament. And played in another GC series, but lost to Ariana Grande Perfume. So they've played against some kind of big teams that we're familiar with in the GC scene,
You better run,
but
Silva.
not as this full exact roster, as the main three are Angel, Soul, and Abibity. But it's interesting to see them here together now as the signed team for the first time here. Again, signed yesterday. Well, officially signed yesterday. Twitter official as of yesterday.
Twitter official. Yeah, maybe signed yesterday, but scrimming for a while. So this team definitely had to earn their spot. We can see as to why they did, right? 2-0 already. And a complete wipe of the board for Wannabees. But Dinosaur. I get used to saying that. Yeah, just looking up towards mid.
And I mean, Wannabees definitely respecting how 26 Rising are playing and have a little bit of a sense that somebody might be hanging out on this sand. And the peak is good for Angel to find 3 actually with that Spectre. All of a sudden, 2v2 situation in the span of seconds. Oh,
Yeah,
but
I
these
like
two-
this though. Because
Yeah, I like it for Wannabees. I'm worried about how far 26 Rising are apart from each other.
I am worried as well. I like how they're sticking
Player
together here for
standing.
Wannabees. Yeah. I am literally reading that name wrong. I thought it said Delhi. It says OL. OL picking off the one down in mid. So now it's a 1v2 situation, but at least some damage done.
That's very true, and you gotta anticipate that because a lot of the Wannabees players have gone down to very low credits, that every time you're able to take down a member of the B squad, you're doing a lot of damage to that economy. So the fact that we actually saw Angel pick up 3 kills, kind of huge, especially when that was just with that Spectre, and now Kaz has to deal with 2 players laying in wait here. And just checking every other angle. Ooh, hipfires for 1.
Excuse me, I'm working.
And well, be going for the peak. We're doing some nice taps in the end. It's just not going to be enough. It was so close, though. You still got to give props.
Yes. Oh, no, I do. It just hurt really bad because it was one shot. It was one bot shot. And then it would have been over. But just couldn't secure that. That's super, super unfortunate for 26 Rising. But Wannabees, I mean, they at least got their point up in the board. So now they're here, right? They're ready to play. Although it was way too close for comfort there.
And now, nice little upgrade for Kaz. You know, going from that 1,000 credit gun to that 4.7k credit gun. And that operator is going to continue to go back, posted up B site. Watching those long angles. Bum's actually going to be the one to find the first blood here onto Dinos Roar. We will have no XDing from that KO today.
Slow. Doesn't have anything really to play with, except for the roll. The 2K comes down. Beautiful shots from Soul. And at 32 health as well, they're still holding on.
Oh, I mean, Kit's able to find that one secure. Noelle is trying to be a little bit of a distraction up towards this door, but that might have been the wrong call. That door went down, and Noelle forced to be stuck behind, not able to help out that team while the rest of them fall, trying to find the head of Kaz, and it just is a little bit too difficult. That fade on Chamber, just a little bit too clean. It's not like Sage, who's got that giant ponytail that makes getting those headshots easier, you know?
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, overall, that 2K was insane. Didn't seem like they would be able to get it based off of the circumstance. But luckily enough, I mean, the wall was up. Once they peeked through it, it kind of had some of that decay there. So it was, I wouldn't say lucky. It was more so like just being at the right place at the right time there. 3-1, 26 Rising. Having the lead. And, I mean, we're already seeing, right? A really strong showcase. Already 2 ultimates left on the board. And a possible victory that could occur once again. Based off the fact that these 2 ults pretty strong.
Yeah, and once again, still the only one now holding down that B site. KO's gonna just stick to watching mid, but Luffy finding a lot of kills alongside Bums. I mean, every once in a while, I'm just like floored by the amount of kills that people are able to collect on a save round. That was Marshals and Sheriffs, and all of a sudden the Wannabees are in a 5v1, just have total control. And those were just off of like 2 Marshal kills from Luffy.
I'm playing around. They know it's a 1v5. They're not gonna be here for 26 Rising. Yeah, but Wannabees aren't looking like Wannabees. They're looking pretty good here. Kaz is sad. Saving the operator, rightfully so. I mean, Eco, not looking too good for the next round. I mean, not that it's not looking too good. I feel like more so in terms of Kaz wanting the op. So, economy, not the richest right now. Yeah, just more so of that weight.
Yeah, and it looks like the prowl from Wannabees is not going to be looking too close to the right place, so they should be able to pretty safely hold on to that operator, continuing to go forward. Unless,
they're coming.
they're starting to
coming.
be like, oh, we want to know, we want to see if we can find you, but they're also being a little bit scared, and I do appreciate that they're respecting this a little bit. That they're saying, hey, we know you have the operator, we don't really want to go and funnel into you, so we'll continue to play it safe, and that's gonna be enough. Coach for 26 Rising is gonna be the one to call this time out here. And do you think this is too early, or do you think that this is the correct time to be calling this timeout here?
I think this is a pretty good time. I think with Wannabees taking that second win, especially since it was a 1v5, like, you know, in turn, it was pretty rough, honestly. It was kind of like a full, complete 360 there for 26 Rising. So, honestly, Screwface doing the right thing at taking that in. But in the future kind of sense, I'm interested to see what Wannabees wants to do kind of coming into that, right? 26 Rising, they kept the operator, saving their lives for the next round to make sure that they have the economy, they have the rifles to kind of continue on. They're definitely looking for the future, saying, yeah, okay, 26 Rising, you know, they've kind of owned us 3 rounds in a row. We need to figure out what we're going to do next and not really risk the chance of our eco going too low. So a good strat there, but Wannabees, I mean, they need a lot more than 1 round win and then a possible next kind of going down the drain, because that tech pause is really going to change things up.
Oh, and it looks like Kaz actually handed off that operator to Soul, and we're going to see those ultimates come out from the Neon and the Chamber to be able to hold them through to the next round. And that's coming with some aggression out of A, and that timing on that overdrive is kind of a little bit sticky, so you do have to be really careful. Try to get that aggression as soon as possible. And that overdrive just might be over by the time we're even able to spot anyone out, or Denny will be the one to take down Angel before that overdrive is able to do too much.
Already multiple taken down. Everybody in Wannabees on the site, and the post plant, I mean, it's looking like they're just sneaking out through the extremities, but they have to be careful. Kaz is sad. Having this tour de force is going to be real strong.
Oh, my goodness. The rotation from that large gun almost comes through, but thankfully Soul said, thanks for the gun. I will use it to keep you safe as well. And Kit manages to find a kill picked up with that shock dart and pushes into the site, gathered enough information from that recon bolt to safely take out that Viper's pit. And that's going to be enough for 26 Rising off of that timeout and through that little bit. I mean, it's weird to call it a save because he had an operator and a vandal for 2 players. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the other one had a stinger. The other 2 relied on ultimates. So, I mean, that just goes to show the strength of Chamber, Neon, and even Jet in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was more of the middle class type of buys where it couldn't fully invest, but also not broken enough to the point where they couldn't fix it. But of course, the band-aids all tidied up. 26 Rising feeling a lot better. I mean, they went from a 1v5 to kind of really owning that round 4-2, coming in here, taking that point in. Wannabees looking like a heavy 8 type of push, and Soul already preparing for it, having the ultimate as well. So if that Viper's pit needs to be expended, 100% going to.
And a nice push-up. You mentioned sometimes this Neon is going to be in places that you wouldn't expect, and there's just so many open areas for that Neon to run around in, and Bums maybe wasn't expecting somebody to be coming through in towards spawn that quickly into the round, and immediately gets taken down. And now you can see Wannabees are kind of forced to be like, all right, is the push from flank continuing to come through, or do we have to continue to worry about that, or can we safely push in? And really just not knowing if this is a safe move for them or not just yet.
Trying to spray it down. Wannabees not making noise because they know exactly what they need to do here. Maybe try to bait out a rotation if anything. Noise being created though, and I feel like this is
Oh no.
this is pretty dangerous here. They're gonna push in. There's gonna be 4 players left on the site.
I mean, I admire them, and I admire their patience, and that they're trying to say, all right, we're waiting
30
for the
seconds
Viper
left.
wall, and then we'll just push on, or we'll see if we can get some amount of players to rotate. Unfortunately, that 0 point really just kind of made the jig be up, and everybody gonna be the first to fall as well. Nicely waiting for that push to come through past that toxic screen. Finds another. Slowly, 26 Rising just not in the right place to find those pushes. Denny tries to find that kill onto Angel, but Angel says, hey, I'm going to get some damage right back your way. Unfortunately, well, still just doing a phenomenal job of being the one to finish off these kills. Denny is a little bit of a distraction, and it's more than enough for Wannabees to find themselves around back into their favor.
All right. Another 1-1 from Wannabees. And the pause already taken here. You know, now looking back at it, when you talk about was that pause actually necessary, I feel like maybe testing out the waters one more time would have been the best case scenario. Because now, I mean, Wannabees, they're pulling out the works. Denny already preparing to buy that operator here on the attacking side, by the way. But Denny has always kind of been that space creator, as we can see, right? Denny always towards that B side, always towards mid, always towards A, depending on where the, you know, where everybody else is. So everybody is B, Denny's going to be A. If everybody's A, Denny's going to be B already, taking that first-hand shot.
And very nicely done. That's got to be a nice start to the round for Wannabees, especially on a map like this where it is so big. So having that agent advantage matters so much. And 26 Rising, quick rotation coming through already. And that is something that we're kind of seeing a lot from them. And we saw a lot in that last round as well. We saw quick rotations from most of the players and then kind of some stragglers coming in towards the end. And Wannabees was just able to make the better of that situation so quickly, and 26 Rising maybe just needs to be a little more conscious of these toxic screens and when and how they're going to be going up and down. Because we also got to see 26 Rising have a player push through that toxic screen, get immediately taken down, and the rest of the team of 26 Rising is like, well, we can't go for the trade because we can't see anything. So you just really got to be very conscious of these Vipers in these games.
I don't think they're going to be too conscious here. Yeah, Viper's wall is completely up, at least on the defending side. Not looking like it's doing too much work though. Coming down, here it is. Angel with the peacock.
Yeah, it takes out a nice shot. Kaz trying to find some information at least, as well as the save is proving to be a little bit punishing, and finds a well 2 kills. Shots through the wall, but not enough damage to finish off this jet. That dash is prepared, but not faster than Angel's shot. That bomb ticking a little bit too fast. Angel will reward themselves with this gun, but not the round. Wannabees are going to be able to even it up. These A pushes are just being so tactical and precise for this B squad.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Unfortunate, but 3 ultimates ready to kind of combat the struggles that they're facing, right? Soul having the Viper util already down, right? The Viper spit, we're going to see Habibti, I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh, the showstopper, and then as well as a no command. So that no command actually will carry on really well with like the entry onto the sites. I really want to see Dino pull that out and see how well they can execute off this. I feel like kind of taking it out off the rip is really going to work out.
Waits on it for a moment, but is, as you mentioned, off the rip. Gonna just go ahead and deploy that, holding down this B site, and that's going to be a nice location change as well, moving that chamber from that B site to that A site, just trying to keep things a little bit unpredictable and fresh here. And it's really going to rely on Angel here. Usually if you do hold off that Viper's Pit towards that entry to B, you really have to be careful about people that you're going to see towards the middle of the map. And as that happens, Angel's thankfully able to do some nice little back and forth and make the better of a well there. Wannabees now have a lot dedicated towards this B side of the map and might be trying to go ahead and push through this Viper's Pit as that toxic screen has been placed. Aldrome trying to gather. Yeah. Trying to gather some of that information with that owl drone. Not really finding anything quite yet, though. Seal playing a dangerous game here. But that vision advantage just being a little bit stronger here. Finds 3, the funnel to come through, and has the bomb. Denny, the only player remaining now. I mean, it's gutsy to push in through a Viper ult. And I think Wannabees just learned exactly why.
11 seconds left on the clock. Denny's like, I know where you are. I know where you are too. Soul peek in the corner. Dino looking for, I mean, somewhat of that redemption, and is going to be able to get it. Just doing a little dancey dance.
What did you say earlier? You were like, oh, the name that you have reflects how you play or who you are. And I feel like the play of throwing the flash over the wall and then just immediately jumping, not caring about being blind and just spraying with the Phantom does feel like a Dinosaur XD move.
That does seem like a raw XD move.
But it does reward Dinosaur with the first kill of this game. So, I mean, you know, it works out. It all comes together.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. What could come together better, though, than Wannabees not moving at all? Absolutely nothing. This is the perfect play. No, I feel like right here, yeah, they're definitely looking for 26 Rising to be a little impatient down that mid, but I mean, 26 Rising, they're super patient on the defense.
I mean, I feel like Bums is always the one kind of prowling around in this hallway and is once again running into VCT. Unfortunately, not going to be able to collect that kill, but does force back a few players trying to attack. Can you even shoot through that? I don't think so. There's not any damage going on to Bums there, but I appreciate, you know, going for it anyway.
I think you can. I'm not sure. There's some like wall banks that you can do here. It's pretty crazy.
I'm always surprised at certain ones that you can shoot through. But,
Everybody's
well.
surprising me every day.
That's true, and I'm always happy to be pleasantly surprised. Kaz, ooh, that was a nice trade onto that Headhunter to finish off well.
Oh yeah, the Viper's pit. It comes down, it's ready, but Kaz has the operator, so this is gonna be like 50 times harder than what it normally would. Just unfortunate. Yeah, Angel already on the come up, and now it's Floofy getting the spray down. And that's one of the things that scares me about the Viper's pit is that you could literally spray, especially
just where
on
it's
this
originating
map.
from.
Yeah, like this map in particular is so hard to play Viper because like there's such a big opening that you could literally spray and not care. Maybe we should just run a triple controller and an initiator and a duelist. I think that's how we need to go.
I think it's just so. Chamber is technically a sentinel, but yeah, I'm kind of in agreement. You could get so much done by having that much vision blocked off, and I mean, we did get to see just a complete spray through, and maybe they should have tried to do that with Soul in the previous round instead of just walking in kind of one by one into the entry of that Viper's pit. It went very differently for both of those teams.
Yeah, overall. I think there was one team that I saw tried to take the Viper out of the map and try for something different. I completely forgot. It was it was a team in another region, but I don't know. I kind of like that element of surprise. They ended up winning that game too. Angel's gonna win out these fights. So down in mid. Oh, break their ankles a little bit, but you know it comes with a cost in that 2K.
Neon's got those exposed ankles too. He's got the little sneakers and then the like mid-length leggings. Oh. So you know those broken ankles are really hurting. Gotta get a medic to look at that. But nice headshot coming out from 50 as well. Making sure that Denny isn't able to get through that rotation. And now Wannabees back afoot as ever. Kit and Luffy got to find themselves a way to get onto site, and they don't have that toxic screen to work with anymore.
Walking up slowly but surely, only 2 players, and there is going to be a recon dart there for Kit to use. But Soul is watching. It doesn't matter what you put out there. Soul just has to hit the shots. Not going to be able to.
All right, that's a nice start. And now Luffy's just trying to see if another kill can be found before we go for that plant to not be left like a sitting duck. Unfortunately, Kit falls. You got to be careful. Those jumping spots are not going to be how to get it all done, but the double peek into it, it's just an unfortunate
Last
situation
round
anyway.
before the
Angel
switch.
collects 3, has the overdrive at the ready,
That works.
and is really showing us the upside to going for that comfort pick and switching towards that Neon. 16-5 is quite an impressive scoreline for a 7-4 game.
Impressive indeed. It's 26 Rising. Rising for sure. Well, I'm wondering what 26 Rising means as well as for the name. Maybe, you know, 26 and 0 Rising. There you go. It's the KDA.
Okay. I'm here for it. I don't know what it means, so
Take flight.
Yeah, we'll
toxic
figure it out.
screen. Yeah, deployed. Let us know in chat. What does it mean? We're looking for answers here at GCA with that toxic smoke being deployed into the air and flash coming out for Dinosaur, just trying to get those kills. And I sprayed down through that box. That full clip is going to be more than enough to pick up those 2 kills alongside that flash drive there. And a nice deploy onto site. Unfortunately, Wannabees have decided not to push on, and that's going to be enough for Kit to find one.
Shutting them down.
Suppression trying to be trialed
One
here.
enemy
Ooh, and a
remaining.
peek that didn't work out so well. In 2 seconds, basically everybody's just wiped off the board. And I mean, you can already see
Switching
how
sides.
that worked out, right? That 8-4, the side switch, and but you know, maybe the attacking is a lot harder. I feel like, you know, on Braze.
It is a lot more difficult, I would agree. So I'm not too surprised by this scoreline. And now 26 Rising are going to have their work cut out for them. But I am feeling a little bit better about how 26 Rising played their defensive side, and especially how Angel has played. So I'm interested in seeing how Angel is going to use kind of being in weird places at weird times to help create space in a way that you don't really get to see Jets do. And that's something that we even got to see Angel do on the defensive side, like pushing up through mid really quickly and being able to take people by surprise. And if we can see something like that happen once again, but this time on the attacking side,
Yeah.
I think we could be pleasantly surprised.
You talked about Angel. I just saw the 19-5.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Dude, that's nuts. We were
Yeah.
literally discussing at the beginning. Oh, well, the Neon, you know, it's a pick or choose. If the ring fits, you know, you can't really complain. And the ring fits. It's literally freaking like Angel can take it off, put it back on whenever the hell they want. It's nice. I mean, I'm really impressed with the way they're playing here.
Yeah, me as well, stunned time and time again. I feel like every single time Angel's name has popped up on the kill feed, it's been like followed by like 3 kills. Like it's always a triple kill, which it kind of makes sense considering that Angel's been able to rack up this many kills. And Awell's gonna have to really start to, I mean, all of Wannabees are gonna have to do a little bit of a step up here if that's something that they want to try to come back in this game with. As you can probably tell by this point, we're buffering a little bit. That timer is stuck at 35 seconds and a player is having a little bit of a keyboard issue, and we're potentially going to be going to a little bit of a break while we do some doctoring here for our players.
Yeah, just figuring things out. But with Angel taking that 19-5, the biggest thing is, like, what can you do to kind of combat Angel as that duelist, as that kind of, like, really big factor of the team, right? Bums, honestly, could really help out there. Because Bums being that KO, Bums being that really big suppression factor, and Angel heavily relying on that util as a Neon, you gotta use that KO. That KO is not being used to its fullest extent. I feel like there's definitely things that you could do to try to combat this. And even if you don't get that suppression through, utilize that Viper util, utilize that decay, and try to play off the fact that, okay, Angel's really gonna dash through my util here. Let's play together and wait for Angel and kind of combat the way they're playing so that we can at least have that success factor.
Yeah, and I think you're saying everything. Like, we got to see a perfect example of at least 26 Rising doing something like that in that last round that we watched. That toxic screen was up from Ploofy, and we got to see the defensive side of 26 Rising wait for Dinosaur to throw that flash drive, and then that flash popped off, and 3 of them all at the same time just pushed through the smoke. Nobody was there, but it's the type of coordination that you want to have and that is going to help you find a lot of success for your team.
Yeah, the success is the most difficult part, especially with so much failure here. 8-4. And this pistol round's going to be pretty important. If Wannabees can take this one, kind of ride with the wave here, obviously they may just be able to take this 6 and 8 and then see where they go from there. But obviously it's still such a large enough gap to the point where, you know, it has to be a lot in a row in order to actually, like, even take the lead.
Yeah, and this is, once again, just kind of like going back to looking at these players here. We're getting to see really the strength of the kind of mainstay players for 26 Rising and Angel Soul and Habibti, and how they've been able to both play together and gather information, like especially Habibti for Angel, using that Sova intel to be able to figure out places where it is safe for Angel to just neon run, dash around, and not exactly be heard in a way that could potentially end up going poorly, because that's exactly how this neon starts to go downhill. Is you have that neon running into places where neon thinks that they're safe, and then it ends up just not being the case, and then all of a sudden you're down that kind of important, especially now that they're on the attacking side, important character that has that fast lane and those relay bolts that allow for you to push onto site safely.
All right, some power here up through mid. Spike kind of resigning towards B, so maybe just looking more so for those picks over towards mid, taking some mid control. Danny looking for control in general, and actually is going to be able to take it here.
Spike down mid.
And a bit of shots coming out on to Angel there, but is safely able to turn around and at least stay alive. And Wannabees getting the most out of this aggression through mid, have found 2 kills and are corralling for more. They don't even know how to take a step back. They're saying we're continuing to just go forward, and Angel's trying to get some lucky shots here and there. Finds one headshot very nicely, but still is low on HP. And this is a tough decision. That bomb is being held down. The flash drive comes out, and OL's going to be the one to secure those final 2 kills and find themselves that first pistol round. I don't know if I would call that like a very defensive strategy at all, but it certainly was a strategy that worked for them this time.
Everything's working out pretty nice for Wannabees. Okay, they won the pistol. Now they're coming in and feeling a lot more comfortable. My interest being, you know, on this defensive round, obviously the comfort still stands here. More so just easier, right? If we're talking about what I could say, realistically, all I can really say is that, okay, well, Wannabees is able to buy now. They have like a 99% shot at winning this one out.
Yeah, barring hell or high water from 26 Rising, they could surprise us. I mean, we've seen Kaz get some nasty shots with that headhunter. If some of those could come through, we could be looking at something pretty nice. Except for the Kaz has fallen pretty early. Kills all across the board. Almost a team ace, but not quite. Kit's going to be the one to grab 2 in that round and find Wannabees 6 here. 2 pretty quick rounds to start off this half swap.
Angel real close to the ultimate already. Seeing as if they lose this round, but Angel manages to be able to pull out the ult, they're going to have something for the eco the next. But, you know, not looking forward to that. We're going to possibly see something out of 26 Rising this round, especially since they have these Vandals coming out against these Spectres. So in terms of the guns and everything coming along for Wannabees, they don't really have that advantage. A little bit unfortunate for them, but not for 26 Rising. Yeah, already residing back near spawn and waiting.
Yeah, changing this up a lot, and Wannabees once again going for this extreme mid push when being down on guns, and Vaseline coming out, but Angel is just not finding anyone because the site is completely given over to the side of Wannabees. But what's not given over to the side of 26 Rising is that mid area. The push in from multiple players finds 2 Ploofy as well. 26 Rising just falling left and right to the dashing through this site that is happening with these Spectres, and Angel just looking the wrong way, trying to hit that recon bolt. Bums capitalizes very nicely as it's a flawless round off of the back of those saves from the previous one.
Diffuse this spike.
Yeah, Wannabees capitalized off of
one
this
else
really
could do
nice in the
this.
beginning. When 26 Rising was trying to get themselves onto the site, it was Wannabees that actually
How
set
did
some
they
players
see
down
this
before they were able to actually get that full execution. So being able to shut these players down really just led them to taking more control, number one, and making that retake easier for them. So now we're going to be able to see this 8-7 kind of closer in terms of the gap that we're seeing at points. And I mean, rounds very important here. Wannabees taking it back up. It's going to be a well, actually, as the Jet that really is picking up that pace in order to see this team to the top. But if 26 Rising kind of stay the same, I believe Angel's been the only one getting picks for a while here.
Yeah, I was a little bit scared when I was like, oh, Wells gotta kind of step it up to end up being on the same playing field that Angel has been on. But so far, that is looking very much to be the case. Wells been able to get some great kills and pick up the pace here and is continuing to do so.
Spike down A.
Taking out Kaz very quickly and rotating towards where the rest of the attacking side is to finish off Dinosaur. And now 2 players of 26 Rising remaining against the 3 of Wannabees, but the jig is up. The locations are revealed. Soul's trying to find some shots onto Well,
enemy
but a
remaining.
nice little bit of a tailwind reposition coming out from Wells, just keeping things smooth and steady, trying to get out of that toxic goop on the ground. Rough time to be getting off the goop. Soul finds that one. And Sheriff in hand, just trying to see if we can do a little bit more damage to Wannabees. That bomb in a difficult place to collect, but probably better to at least go for the try, yeah?
Yeah, Soul can't rely on those smokes any
30
longer.
seconds left.
He's really just going to have to fight for some freedom here. 30 seconds left on the clock. The spike is left all the way over towards the site here, and a majority of that control being for Wannabees.
Nice, secure there. And Wannabees have had pretty swift rounds, 4 in a row since moving to defensive side. And you mentioned this map is kind of hard to attack on, and I was expecting 26 Rising to have a little bit of a better showing than we're seeing so far, and Wannabees are just off to a breakneck start.
Yeah, 8-8. Wannabees picking it back up. Something, honestly, we don't really know what we were going to expect in the first place, because these two teams a little bit on the newer side in terms of, I guess, roster pickups, especially, you know, names, and coming into this with 26 Rising being this signed team that, you know, we really want to see a lot out of. Now there it comes Soul looking for that really good impression.
Oh, yeah, speaking of a good impression, 2 kills, 2 headshots to start it off is exactly that. Kaz finding one as well. Bum's getting a little bit of vengeance there.
Yeah.
It's Dinosaur just trying to back up and stay safe and wait for a little bit of a reconvergence of these 2 Wannabees players. Where can they go? And it looks like the decision might just be for both of them to go ahead and save here.
Tenny. Yeah, overall, everything looking good here for 26 Rising. Taking it back. The lead there is they're not giving it up just yet. Honestly, it was never taken away in the first place. It was Wannabees taking it up to equal grounds. 26 Rising not letting them really go past that. And I mean, under the pressure, it seems like they really start to thrive, which is the best thing for them right now. That spike is going to be detonated, but some ultimates there for 26 Rising they could possibly use off of. It's going to be Soul's Viper Spit, and that's going to be really big for that entry.
And alongside that, I mean, the overdrive at the ready as well, something that would allow for that extra bit of speed. Just got to be careful about not getting your head taken off as you're blazing in onto site, especially considering how open this map can be. Potentially be a downside. We only saw that Angel, despite having a ton of kills and having that ultimate available a lot on the defensive side, really didn't utilize it a whole lot. Only went for it once. Denny trying to make those predictions with that operator, but isn't quite able to find it. Instead, it's Kit and Bums who are hanging out on this A site, waiting for that funnel in from that fast lane to find 2 kills. It's two more come out. Kaz and Owell finding some as well. And quick shutdown after that save from the previous ones. 2 players remaining now for 26 Rising. And once again, just a difficult situation for them to even get onto site. And Wannabees have enough players to hold 2 and 2 to each site.
Up in the air kit, not finding a lot, and this is good in terms of site clear, site hold, site completely cleared, so they know A site is not really too much of an extent of that worry, but they don't know just yet, right? This push starting up, Soul looking down to the flank to see if somebody's coming, but nobody is. It's just the site that they have to be really careful of once they start the sentry.
Reynolds Roar just trying to play so safe, preparing that flash. Oh, the spray is coming through, just can't finish off Owell. Soul has to come in and finish the job onto Kit. And, you know, Owell's still out there on the prowl, but the ultimate, as you mentioned, down and ready. So at least that'll make this a little bit easier for these 226 Rising players remaining to finish this off. Oh, nice peek out. All right, Dinosaur getting a little bit of redemption from that spray down towards Owell at the start, and really is able to find it with 3 kills picked up despite all odds. 26 Rising find themselves that 2v4 and take a round off of Wannabees once again. First to find double digits here as well.
Anyone have funds to spare?
That Viper spit worked out nice, I feel like, in favor of them. I thought 26 Rising were going to give that away, to be honest with you, based off the fact that the numbers were low. You had Wannabees really cornering them in. But, I mean, they used everything they could perfectly. That Viper spit coming out from Soul, knowing, okay, this is the opportunity if I need it. Even though it's a 2v4, I mean, what else am I going to lose at this point? But great. Yeah, Angel seems like they're ready to use their ultimate as well, but really just trying to find the perfect opportunity to do so. That mid type of control, not really thriving too much here as Denny takes out the first.
Yeah, Kaz kind of waiting for that rotation to come through, but it just doesn't happen. And whoa, okay, what a quick end to that round. Pick up that orb once again, and Floofy just hanging out with that Vandal spray to take down the 3 remaining players of 26 Rising who were just trying to get onto site. But I already made a "you shall not pass" joke, so I don't feel like I should say it again. But that was another great example of that moment. Holy smokes!
Listen, say whatever you want.
Oh, okay, now whatever I want.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Gumbers is trying to get me in trouble here.
You want to play?
It's okay. Go ahead and do it. I'm right here. I'm supporting you every step of the way. I'm supporting both these teams every step of the way as well. But here it is, right? Kaz is sad, pulling out the tour de force, looking for that one, and the shoulder peek comes through. Oh yeah, Bum's nose, trying to communicate through crouch.
I love it. I love it when players do that a little bit. They're like, "Oh, I saw somebody, and I don't want to peek that again, so I'm just gonna park it right here." Nice relocation that's going to come out from Kaz as well. Trying to get a different vantage point, see if we can see somebody other than that KO. And the attacking side is so spread out on the map right now, and I think it kind of makes sense just trying to go for finding a pick somewhere, especially when that Viper's pit is down and you have one of these angles onto the map taken away from you. It looks like we're just going to kind of do a repeat of what happened last round. Have somebody try to wait for a flank on the opposite side of the map while the remaining 4 just try to find their way onto one of these sites.
Oh, Habibti. Oh, not going to use
30
the drone.
seconds left.
Not yet, at least. 30-second mark. They're going to try to push in here. Is it the correct opportunity? Maybe so. And it's a 1-to-1.
Oh, well, not quite able to finish off that shot. And Dinosaur and Soul, though, finding nice kills here. Angels taking down Bums. But that resurrection is going to be available as 3 remaining 26 Rising players just have to worry about where this final chamber is remaining. And just making sure that this KO can't come back, though that is going to be a swift end there. Blue screening on Bums, and Soul laying in wait to finish off Denny.
Oh, okay. 26 Rising. Taking it back up once more, but we know Wannabees, right? Once that pressure starts to come and they're feeling the pressure of being 2 down once again, it's like, okay, something clicks in their heads and they know they need to really take it back now. Oh, well, is something that, you know, we have to be afraid of. They love the pressure. 21-13. This person has been quite literally just really putting the force in for this team, right? And I mean, and I would say that's a little bit unfortunate as well, because this team may not be having the best team right now in general. But if somebody stepped it up, even one person, right, things could be completely different.
Oh, and just sprays back and forth for both of these teams. That KO is down by all accounts. It was a 3v3 for a moment until Kaz was able to take out that doppelganger, and Denny falls. Soul finds Kit. That location revealed by that Hunter's Fury, and we will be able to stabilize this KO back into existence. Keep another gun for 26 Rising, who blaze themselves to match point.
Oof. All right, this is scary now. It's getting to the point where, you know, your hands start to get sweaty. Things don't really look too good. Not to mention, you're at this match point. There is no forgiveness at this point. Danny can't even buy. Having to rely on their tour de force to be able to give them something.
And tour de force is better than nothing, and we've been able to see both of these players get a lot done with it, so relying on it might feel a little bit comfortable, at least. I've been told that it's a lot smoother of an operator than the actual operator, so who knows? Maybe that's actually the preference, as Bladestorm is available and up for a well here. Sahabibti with that owl drone is going to force a little bit of safety here, but Kaz off on the prowl isn't going to get hit by that flash drive, finds one, but Bums thankfully hanging out for that trade back. The 1-for-1 is going to be all these teams get as both of them back off.
Ooh, Kit's in a good position right now. If they peek here, they're not going to be able to know, but the trigger
discipline
isn't there.
Oh, that was a little bit anxious, and a Ploofy finding multiple kills once again. That fast lane not going to be enough to scare Ploofy off. 26 Rising, 2 players remaining. That bomb down. Defensive gameplay coming in here, isolating these shots, allows for Soul to find the final 2. Ploofy and Kit down. 26 Rising up and taking it 13-9.
They had a really good run on the attacking side. We talked about maybe, you know, the attacking side is harder and things will start to look a little bit different.
It did start out harder.
Yeah, but I think overall Angel was like a really big factor as to why that game turned out the way that it did, right? The top fragging was immense. Playing on that Neon on Breeze was immense as well. The fact that they were able to frag as much as they did, something that, you know, isn't the easiest thing in the world with Neon on a map like Breeze, and everything just kind of feels like it's against you. But in general, it really was the smokes that led Angel to being able to make their way through and take those frags.
Yeah, and on top of that, we also got to see Kaz for 26 Rising just do a phenomenal job on that chamber, finding a lot of long-range kills when Angel wasn't always the one to do those extreme frags. So it all just really coming together so smoothly in the end for 26 Rising. Again, another match that we were anticipating to be big back and forth, but two teams that we're not too familiar with and excited to see showing up here. That does put 26 Rising to 2-0 in this group so far, and does move their opponents of Wannabees to that 1-1. And 26 Rising looking pretty strong. Excited to see how they're going to end up in this group stage.
I think they're going to end up pretty well. I think overall this team had a really good showing. We were a little bit worried in the beginning because of the fact that it was like, okay, well, you know, obviously I wouldn't say there's jitters coming into this. Sometimes when you're broadcasted, teams tend to get a little bit more nervous. So that's definitely a factor. But overall, I think, yeah, okay, once the jitters were gone, they definitely figured out what they need to start doing. And you know, hey, let's get serious now. Like, this team is pretty close to being able to win this out. And then rounds in a row, it was completely over.
And speaking of being completely over, we have cast some long games, so our teams are getting situated to go in to round number 3, the final round of these group stages. We're going to go to a quick break and then bring you that round number 3.